What's up, guys? I have this message that I have to share with you today, and that is you have to block out all of the noise. You have to block out all of the naysayers. This could be people in your life, your friends, your family even, and the only thing that these people or this environment is doing is trying to distract you, and it's trying to take you away from your goals and your focus. And this is only going to kill your forward momentum, your progress. It's going to slow you down. That's why you have to shed that old mentality, that old skin. You have to get away from those negative environments and those people that are just toxic around you, and they're trying to bring you down. Because if you sit there and you dwell on it and you listen to their thoughts and their ideas, you only end up just slowing your growth, and you're never going to actually achieve those dreams, because you're going to have doubt in your mind and you're going to have fear, and these people just keep on trying to bring you back down to that level that they're on. You have to go at it alone. You have to just rely on yourself, rely on God. And when you do that, you get to a point where you don't value those other people's opinions as much, and you start to realize that they're only projecting their own limitations, their own negativity on you, and they want to bring you down to that level. Like I said, you need to remove that from your life. If you have a goal, if you have a dream that you want to achieve, you have to commit everything to it. You have to believe in it 100%. And you just can't take no. You can't take no for an answer. It's so important, guys. The view is beautiful at the top. When you get to the top, man, you have the best view, right? But the people that get to the top, the people that make it and achieve those dreams, they've gone through so many seasons, so many losses, so many heartbreaks, so many setbacks. And most of us just can't even imagine living one day like that. It's like people that really have achieved something have gone through the most suffering, have gone through the most pain. That's why suffering actually brings you closer to God and closer to your true self. Because when you're suffering and when you're going through the struggle, you really find out who you are, what your character is, and who you're made of. And this is the test. You have to pass that test. If you don't go through that test, you're never going to actually, make it out the other side. So that's why people just stay stuck. That's why they stay where they're at. And it's easy. It's comfortable. It's easy to be comfortable, but growth is nowhere near where comfortability is. You have to go through the struggle, and you have to go through the pain. You have to go through the losses. You have to go through the heartbreaks. You got to go through seasons of being broke. It's not easy, and that's why the people that have the life, the so-called life that you want to live, or you're telling yourself that you want to live, they've gone through more than you've gone through. They've suffered more than you've gone through. They've sacrificed way more than you've gone through. So that's the key. If you want to get in shape, if you want to have the best body you can have, you're gonna have to go through a lot of struggle. You're gonna have to go through a lot of effort. You're gonna have to put in a lot of reps. There's gonna be a lot of days where you're gonna go to the gym and you don't fucking feel like it. But guess what? Doesn't matter how you feel, motherfucker. It matters the work that you do, and it matters the reps that you put in, because the time and the effort and the reps that you put in, eventually you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna recognize and you're gonna see the results start to come in. You're gonna start to see that identity that you've been trying to create and craft for yourself. But until then, until you've actually fully committed to it, until you've burned every single other bridge and every other single option that you have to escape what it is that you set out to do, you're not going to make it, because you're always going to think, well, you know, things are getting pretty hard right now, and I don't think I can continue. And guess what? We're all going to get to that point, but it's in that moment where you have to decide that you're not going to quit and you're not going to take no for an answer, and you have to persist and you have to keep going. So keep going, never quit. That's the only way you can guarantee that you're going to get there. Because if you quit, you're automatically disqualifying yourself and saying that you don't really want what it is that you're chasing after. But if you never take no for an answer, and if you never quit, even if you die in the process, you know, like, you're still winning. You're not a failure. You only fail when you quit and when you give up. So that's the message I wanted to share. Keep going, never quit, believe in yourself. Until the next one.